Latina friend.
Damn.
Okay, I'm here to introduce to you a couple of my friends, and I want you guys to know who they are right now. Oh, legal. Because we tight lit right now. Shit. This bread, no?
Yeah.
So, no, God, get your bread.
What is it? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Shoot.
No, I was ready.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
But she's won.
Yeah.
No, but she. But who
So
does
you chopped
what?
her
I
first.
chopped
You
her.
chopped her first, so I have won.
I should have waited. Okay, I don't know why I wanted to win. Like, genuinely, I don't know. So pick.
Okay. Privilege. Yours, others, power dynamics. Do you remember the things that we
I
said?
feel like we didn't say a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I think we all agreed that we're very privileged.
I don't have much to talk
very,
about.
But yeah,
Oh,
Not very.
the very is lifting heavy there.
oh really?
Oh, I think we're very privileged.
yeah. Considering
But we are also very marginalized. We're
no, you
also
know the
very
example that she
marginalized.
gave about like when she was coming and then she saw the people on the road.
Because
Also, when we are
majority
sitting-
Ghana.
Yeah, they put outside.
Yes, but I'm saying privilege. That's not at the very,
Very.
to me. To me.
Fair.
Fair. But we are privileged.
Okay.
But someone said something when we're in a discussion where they were like, privilege is. I think it was Joan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said something about how like privilege is basically not necessarily like things that you worked for, but
You're handed.
you're handed. But my question now is right that if you take someone like, let's use me for example, right? Let's say you grew up in a poor family, you didn't have certain privileges, a lot of things that like money could do for you, you didn't get that growing up, right? And then maybe you forge a path for yourself, you get a job, you get to do something, you get to build a life that you want. Is it still then said that, yes, you are privileged now, but is it then something you were still handed and not something you worked for?
I think in this you were still handed it. It's still a privilege because there are poorer people who wouldn't have been able to get educated, to have been able to get the job, to have been able to make the money and create a better life, right? So then that's why I was saying that it's sometimes so hard to see your privilege in certain areas because you feel like I'm still marginalized or it's still not great or it wasn't great. But you got to go to school, higher education, you got to pick what you wanted to do, and thankfully it was like a really high earning or high paying thing. You even got to use your brain to like make it better, right? But that's not everyone's lot. That's not what everyone is handed.
Fair.
When I think of privilege, especially in the sense that you're asking it right now, I think like forget money and all. I mean, we're pretty fine girls in Accra. Just generally, like in Accra. I mean, if we leave the country, we might not be, but like in Accra, you know, if you're going to like nightlife, you're not gonna be the person who's going to be bounced at the door for certain reasons. And that alone, now you can say I have a gym subscription. You can say, oh, but I keep it. That does not have anything to do with the fact that you have access now here. So that's how I see privilege anyway. I understand what you're saying about like not having that at all and forging a path for yourself. But I remember when you were telling us about like even your journey through high school to university, there were so many people that were your cousin, like someone who did not have a cousin who could have pulled them out of school in like a situation where they needed it. There's just tiny things that were stepping stones, like people not allowing you to, oh hi, you're smart, stop doing this. Yeah, like people just, it's all privilege.
Fair, actually, that is true. Now when you said the whole fighting thing, that actually is.
That's what you.
Can I add? People are privileged. The people you have around you are big privilege because they make all the difference. Like what she just said. I mean, I don't know that story, but I think about it all the time. That if I hadn't met some people Or let's say if my parents hadn't been friends with some people, so that I'll meet this person and go to this place.
Oh yeah.
Where would I know?
You're so right.
Yeah, where would I know this thing or this person or how would I get this opportunity? So yeah, privilege comes in a lot of forms.
I also think you're thinking about the process as opposed to where you are right now.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
Right. Yeah. So like if you think about it, okay, I did all that, but where I am right now, people don't have that. And that makes you stick out, stand out, be a little more privileged than the next person. So yeah, man.
Question. Quick question before we get off this topic of privilege. Like, I feel like privilege, especially in this Ghanaian society, comes with expectations, right? From, let me give a typical example, maybe family, right? Your family can have expectations of you now, and that, okay, maybe you're the one who was able to go out there, break free, do what you want to do and everything. And now you're we can see a difference between you and then maybe us. And so we expect that, or maybe it may not be said and whatever, but I feel like generally in the Ghanaian society, there is that expectation that you have to bring someone along because of the position that you are in. While I don't disagree with that, I feel like sometimes it becomes an obligation and it starts to feel like a burden to people. What do you guys think about that?
I think it can be burdensome, but I feel like it also comes, it's like the package. If you are coming from that space and like you've been put on, you put others on. But I think I've also tried to like broaden the scope of the support I can give. Like, I feel like money becomes a burden a lot of the time, but like there's so much else because I've learned, I can teach you, I can put you on, I can bring you to my space. Maybe you meet someone, I can connect you to this person. So it's like, okay, then it's less of what I can give you materially, and it's more of like just generally the access that because you know me now, because me and the family has gotten this access, then I'm also opening the door for all of you. And obviously it's like that for the relocation as well. Like as I go, you know, the door is open for everybody. No, but it's like, I'm joking with it, but it's privilege. Like you have somewhere to be, right? Like if you do decide to come there, there's always a house that you stay in. There's always someone that you know. So like something like that is not like money, but it's like something else I can give you. So I've tried, at least in my capacity, to think about it more than, okay, if money is becoming burdensome, what else can I do? Can I donate my time? Because sometimes when I was growing up, even like an older cousin, older auntie who took interest in me did so much for me, my confidence, how I felt about myself, what I could even dream about, just because I was having these conversations with other people. So maybe dig deep within and see, okay, what else can I do?
I agree.
But yes, I was going to ask that. Two things. What if the person wants money? What you are giving me is not what I want. Right? I want money. I want you to pay my fees, my child's fees, something. All this access, I'm not going to use it for anything. You know, that's the first question I want to ask. And the second thing is, you know how family is always like, oh, but we supported you when you were younger. I carried you. Right? But like they feel like but you can always remember family members who actually put some time, effort into you, right? And then there's also the people who were just there. And then they're like, okay, you've made it and you're still part of the family, and so still you owe us something, right? And sometimes the people who really did put something, give you something, are not the ones who are really asking, but the ones who are just like at the back there. Sometimes it's really out of vengeance, like you were not there, so why should I do that? But sometimes you really know that they need the help. So how do you even like manage to balance that? You know,
Like, there's self-preservation first. I feel like it's one of the most difficult things to create boundaries with family and people who you feel like sometimes, yeah, they do deserve it. But my resources are not infinite. Like, yeah, like it comes to a point where I honestly truly don't have it, even if I wanted to help you. So then I feel like boundaries, they are not always comfortable. They won't feel good. There'll be guilt. I think John kept on telling me, but if you feel guilty, it's okay. Like, forge on. Like, it'll be fine, right? And then also remembering your self-preservation, not in a way that you are trying to be selfish, but you are here and you have that access. But if you should give it all away, you also won't have any more, and then you also need someone to bail you out or whatever. So I think first boundaries, and then also try to, I think also people don't always necessarily understand that maybe you may not have it, but you can connect them or you can give them access. I feel like there's that lack of like understanding of the value that comes with, oh, maybe I can't pay his school fees, but maybe I can pay for all his lunches throughout next term, or I can buy the provisions, and that helps you, or that takes away a bit of a burden, right? Or I can connect you to this, I don't know, scholarship scheme that maybe you could apply for, something like that. So like I start thinking about other practical ways that maybe I can help. Like maybe I can't give you the money, but I can come and pick you and take you to the hospital. Like I can be there with you, that kind of thing. So it's difficult because ideally it shouldn't be like that. We should be able to give as much as we can, but sometimes we really also just don't have it. But I think also, especially with family, the communication aspect of it will also become important. Like communicating that it's not that I don't want to give you, because sometimes I feel like a lot of the time actually like they think it's malice intended, like I'm being wicked to you, I'll just not give you. But truly and truly I don't have it now. Even sometimes you can say it's right now, but maybe next year or maybe next month. I'm just saying, like, for example. But yeah, it's a little difficult. It's gray. There's no one correct answer. But
Can
yeah.
I say something? I think a lot of the time some people want you to actually do the heavy lifting, right? Or do the work involved. For example, you mentioned, like, say, someone, let's say a relative's kid is having trouble with, maybe they're having trouble with school fees and everything. And maybe you can't pay for the fees now, but you want to help them with the steps towards like applying for a scholarship and all of that. They wish you just come to them with a scholarship one, right? As opposed to maybe, okay, taking the kid through what goes into scholarship application. Maybe you have to write a statement. Maybe you have to, you have to write things about yourself that you know best, right? And so maybe do the writing will help you edit all of that. They would rather you just bring a scholarship or just give the money. So it becomes difficult. But I agree with what you said about boundaries, because if you don't want to participate in helping your own self, I think it'll be difficult to get all the help you need.
Sometimes I'm guilty of doing the work for them, because like you are wasting time. Like you are wasting the time. And I feel like that's what you need. But I also feel like maybe because of everything that is going on, you don't realize the weight of it. So if it means that I have to write the application for you, I'll do I'll do it. Just cause like at this time you may not understand. But if there's something that I can do without your inputs, I'll do it. Because like sometimes in hindsight, you're glad that somebody did. I have like an example of like a family member who decided that because they couldn't go to a particular university, then they will not go to university at all. Another family member said, hey, no, even if like I don't want the space of registration to even pass, so I'm going to go and register for you. And at the time you could go and register for somebody in uni. So they went and stood in line and registered for the person while the person was at home saying that I'll not go to university again. But like later on, when the person realized that, oh, really, like I can't go to this one I wanted, but this person has gone ahead to do everything and now I just need to appear. It was like, okay, I might as well go, right? So then maybe with time they'll come around and then they'll see. So it's not the best thing. It's very unorthodox, but if you can, because it helps the situation in the long run. So,
I get you.
I have thoughts. I had.
What's the
I guess what you said first is what stuck out to me most, that is a package deal. I think because of how the world exists with scarcity and people having, people not having, the minute you get into the side of the people having, there's a package deal with what that means. Like, so but you have to be standing on the ledge before you can pull someone up.
Of course.
So I also understand, like, sometimes you're just like not really on footing yet, and then people are clamoring at you, and that can be like, very overwhelming. So I get the the feeling of not wanting to show up, even if you have a little room to. I think the only thing that I'm still figuring out in my mind is that what the power dynamic that exists in having puts you at the side of the person who can just say, I won't help, leave me alone. So I know, one, that's something you can exercise because you are the person with the power here. And just in terms of money, sometimes it's not like that. You're talking to your mom, and in another situation, she can hold the social backing. But when it comes to like maybe money, right now, she's depending on you. So like, what needs to happen is you need to be able to show up for yourself. So if you're looking at yourself, you're looking at your, the room you have, and you can't help, then you have the power to say, I can't, like, because you literally do have the power. So yes, I do think it should be okay for people to just turn down some requests just based on whether they have the means to. What I'm not too clear about is, when we say we're helping them, like, I'm not sure how to explain. When we say I'm giving this person help, they can't see the full picture. I'm like, helping them. Sometimes they can see the picture and they don't want to make any effort. They don't want to do anything. And I am stuck at the place of when someone is very, very, very poor and they don't want to do anything. Is this so wrong? Yeah, like I'm stuck there, but I'm also stuck as being on the other end of someone asking you for something and then not doing anything to meet you halfway. So I guess what I'm picturing now in my mind is, because of how binary the world is, and obviously how these systems and structures like exist, is halfway maybe different from what we see as halfway. Like what really is, like, what was the best of this person's ability right now? What's the best of my ability? And is there a meeting point? And if there's not, I have the power to walk away. So I guess that's where I'm at.
I also think that there's an issue of overestimation of where you're at. By virtue of how they see you present. By virtue of the way you present, people overestimate where your actual wealth in quotes is, So I think that's where a lot of what we call expectation comes from, because they see you're dressing nice, you're looking nice every day. Collect the money.
You look good, you smell good, you look like you're eating good.
What are you talking about? We ask you exactly
a service.
A service.
When you
Bring
can
the
just
money.
give me the
You
money.
get, like, I'm asking you for 200 and you say you don't have. You're a joker. You have it.
It's mad because, like,
It happens. It happens. Where we are sitting here, we don't have. So then there's that. Like, okay. It happens. Do you know what I was eating last week? No, but like, you see, that's the thing. Like, it happens, and I feel like you're saying, like, there's something about, like, I said communication, but maybe that wasn't the word. But like, there's something about trying to impress on them that true, this is it. So like,
they don't believe it.
They don't
But I
believe
also
it.
do think that our... Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead.
I also do think that, like, a general pathology in all of us is that you're suspicious of what you would do. And it is making sense that in a world where I treated you somehow when you were a child, you grew up and I'm asking for money and you're saying no. It makes sense, because me too, I would do the same. So, like, I think there's a shared... The suspicions they have really truly are not ones that you can dismantle. There's
not for you.
There's other things. I think, like, if you have the power, you exercise it. It's unfortunate that that's what it is. Like, you can just say no if you don't want to. I'm really careful with, like, people who are poor, especially with money, just because I know how that thing can get. Like, sometimes when I don't have money, I don't even feel like bathing. But there's water. And I have soap. And I have a sponge. Like, I have the means. But if someone told me that you didn't bath today, do you know what it takes to bath? Yeah, so I'm careful with them just because I know other things happen. Like, there's a self-esteem and self-worth that is very tied to money. So I'm careful there. Like, even when I'm telling people no, it's not like it's a no that
No, it's grace.
yeah, like you just really know that. Oh,
I really
yeah.
My last take. I think that if you don't want to help, don't help.
Yeah.
Don't do
If you
it.
truly don't want
If you don't want to, don't do it. And if you want to, please do go ahead. Because
Why can't you do it begrudgingly?
do you know how people speak of people they've helped?
Exactly.
Oh, me, I do it begrudgingly, but I'm not going to speak about it.
No, but that's you.
No, and there's only politics, and because the
Exactly.
people you tell
We will look at you some way because why are you saying that? Why are you saying that?
If you had the
Who are you going to
space
complain to?
Yeah, because what are you talking about?
No, because definitely, I know that it's wrong for me to
Yeah.
say that. This
But
girl
it
cried,
exists
gave her 2
in your
CDs
heart
and then-
space.
It doesn't exist in that way of malice that I gave it to see, look at what you're doing, but it's like, bruh, it shouldn't be like this.
It
That's-
exists in an ethical way.
That's yeah.
It's like there's something that is doing. I think that the quest to be more true with like the other person needs to first happen with like you, and I'm not feeling comfortable with giving you this money. So
Yeah, and there's also some type of help that expects something from the person that was helped, especially when it's begrudged.
Yeah.
You know, like I gave you this thing. Look at what you. I expected that you do this with this money that I gave you, but you ended up doing something else. Like if you give and then you move on, like this is what I could, and then I moved on. But if you don't want to, don't. And then free everybody involved: yourself, the person, your friends.
My nose turned up like,
no, because I think I've had like expectations of people where like me, I usually don't have expectations.
Yeah.
But whenever I feel that I really expected
Yes.
something from this person and I dig deep, it's that I gave more than I
Something.
wanted to at some
Exactly.
point. And now I'm feeling like you have to set this balance.
Also, sometimes it's not even about giving more. That is valid, but sometimes it's, from what I have seen in some of my family dynamic, it's not even about giving more. It's the mere fact that I've helped you. I feel entitled to tell you how to navigate that help I've given you. So, for example, there was a relative who had troubles with alcohol. So, like, he was dealing with alcoholism and wasn't working, and so occasionally would ask for money from us, any like siblings, all of that. And let's be honest, do you think that someone dealing with this particular trouble, when you give them the money, even if they use half to buy the food, they won't use the rest of the half to indulge in the sickness they are dealing with, right? But then all of a sudden there's a lashing out that you gave the money, let it go.
We all buy down.
Do you get what I'm saying? The money you gave was not bigger than you because how much did you give him? 5 cedis, 10 cedis. It's chicken change to you. But there's that entitlement that in Keshka you've gone to, there's a policing. There is a policing around that.
I have a question.
Would it also be entitlement
If I feel like I'm taking care of you, so you have to at least not be rude to me.
It comes from somewhere.
it comes from somewhere?
Like, hey,
And it rhymes with schmirrens.
No, but I do feel like I do feel like if it's rudeness, I think you shouldn't be rude to anybody.
It's not because I'm taking care of you.
Yeah, in that instance, it's very much tied to something.
I don't think you should talk to people.
Don't talk
this
to
way.
people like that.
But
Don't talk to people like
I'm not
that.
going to withhold what,
No, so like it's not like I'll withhold, but I feel like
No,
hey,
you're gonna
No, but it's still tied.
Yeah, it's
There's
tied.
a tie.
There's something.
I think it's actually from our parents.
It's a time to.
Parents, elders, adults. I think
The moment they are
just-
doing something for you,
you have
Yeah,
to.
and you
cannot
are
lie.
tense whilst they are doing
Yeah.
No,
it.
because I'm
You
sorry,
know-
but
you
the
know
day
what's
you
going on.
disrespect, you cannot ask for pocket money.
Yeah.
You how dare you cannot
But
ask.
even when you're eating, yeah,
but that's
little-
financial.
You're eating.
Yeah.
No, but you're eating.
There's food
You're
to
eating. There's food. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you finish your bit and you vomit all the food out, keep eating.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, I'm here to introduce to you Iggy, a couple of my friends, guys to know who they are right now. Of Lagos. Cause we tight lit right now. Shit. This bread, no? Like, yeah. No, get bread.